Hey everyone, welcome back to Objective Reviews. My name is Nick, and in this video we are going to be checking out the Sony A6400, the Sigma 16, 30 and 56mm contemporary lenses for the APS-C sensors. So let's get started. So I want to start this video by reviewing the Sigma lenses that we have here, the 16mm, the 30mm and the 56mm, all set at f1.4, which is excellent. Getting a wide-angle lens like a 16mm at f1.4 is incredible. And you can get these three lenses for about 80,000 Indian rupees. I'll actually have the actual prices and the total listed here, and you can check them out. All of these lenses, the cameras and everything else is linked down in the description. I'm recording this video with these lenses themselves. I have camera 1 set up in front of me with the 30mm lens, and I have camera 2 set up there with the 56mm lens. It would be interesting, and I would like you all to leave a comment down below letting me know which camera is which, because there's an interesting video test towards the end of this video. So let's talk about these lenses. These are exceptional lenses, and at f1.4 they bring out excellent quality. All of these are native E-mount lenses, which means they all support eye autofocus, and that is what I'm relying on for recording this video. As a one-man show, I have to set up the cameras there and just press the record button and hope and pray that the cameras do their job and focus correctly on me, which I believe they are doing. I hope they are doing, or I will have to record this video all over again for the third time because I already goofed up once. These lenses, you stop all three lenses down to f2 and they start bringing out exceptional clarity and sharpness throughout the range. The 16mm lens is very good for landscapes, as you can see here. The sharpness in the center of the image is very good, and the sharpness towards the edges is decent for the price you're paying for these lenses. You step up to the 30mm and you get similar results. Center is great, and as you go towards the edges, it softens up a little bit, but not too much that the image becomes unusable. The 56mm, my favorite of the bunch, which is right there, is, well, what can I say? It's my favorite for a reason. On an APS-C sensor, it is the equivalent of an 85mm lens at f1.4, which is absolutely brilliant. The portraits that you can get with this lens are just exceptional, and I absolutely love how it renders the bokeh in the background. Even when it's opened wide at f1.4, you still get a sharp subject, focus on the eye using the eye AF from the Sony cameras, and I don't know what more to say. I just love these lenses. They are so good for the price. I am just blown away by the quality of these lenses, to be very honest. Now, is there a downside to these lenses? Yeah. If you're shooting and then you want to suddenly, adjust the focus a little bit, manually set it, well, you can't turn the focus ring on these lenses. Nothing will happen. The ring will turn, but the focus won't shift. You'll have to manually set manual focus, or DMF, on the Sony cameras to actually be able to get manual focus. So that is the only downside to these lenses. But I love how compact they are. I love how sharp they are, and I love how cheap they are. So for the price point, these are absolutely exceptional lenses, and I would highly recommend that if you are getting the Sony Alpha series cameras, I would recommend that you skip the Sony lenses and get the Sigma contemporary lenses instead. All of them linked in the description. Now let's talk about the Sony A6400, probably the reason why most of y'all are watching this video. And it's a tiny beast. I am actually naming it the Micro Monster because it is so small yet so versatile. It can fit in a lot of places. It is very light. The only problem with this camera over its predecessors is that it still uses the same battery, which runs out very quickly. Recording a 15 to 20 minute video will drain the battery from 100 to 0 in just like, it's gone, poof, gone. The second issue with it is that it still has a single card slot. Well, okay, fine. It's not a very big issue, but it's still an issue. And problem number 3, the record button is still on the hand grip, which is very weird. Now, Sony did pitch the A6400 as a vlogger's camera, and that is very, very silly, because please do not buy this camera for vlogging. Well, you are going to have to carry this camera and probably a bag hanging around your waist carrying, I don't know, maybe 60, 70 additional batteries. It's absolutely stupid. The battery will run out for about 100, 150 photos or a 15-minute video. That's it. However, the biggest advantage of this camera over its predecessors, in fact, the biggest advantage this camera has even over the A6500, is the new image processing chip. And what that does, which is similar to the A7 III, by the way, and what this enables is HLG, faster image processing. The burst mode can shoot more images much faster, and the sensor is still a 24.2 megapixel sensor similar to the A7 III, which brings it at par. The only difference between this and the A7 III is the sensor. The A6400 is an APS-C sensor, the A7 III is a full frame sensor. But again, don't let that hold you back, because as you'll see later on in the video quality test, the sensor absolutely does not make a huge difference at all. The display on the camera is pretty sweet. It can flip all the way out, and it is very bright out in sunlight. You can manually set the brightness of the monitor, and it is very bright, very visible. The viewfinder, on the other hand, I find it a bit lackluster because I'm used to the A7 III's viewfinder now, and I don't know, I had issues using the viewfinder when shooting photos, and I'm not very pleased with it, but it could also be because I'm used to the A7 III's viewfinder now. So that could be one of the reasons, but this is very subjective, so I would recommend that you try it out yourself and take a decision on the viewfinder. What is also lacking on this camera, very weirdly, is a USB-C port. There's no USB-C port on this camera for data transfer and charging the camera, especially considering how quickly the batteries run out. It still has a micro USB port. The HDMI port is also there, and there's a flimsy, well, microphone input. I don't know why you would use that on this camera, but it's there if you need it. And yeah, no USB-C, major bummer. It also has the same Wi-Fi and NFC for connecting it and controlling it with your smartphones. So all of that is, of course, there. But the biggest advantage of this camera now is the ability to shoot HLG. And HLG does not have the same limitation as shooting S-Log 2 or 3, where you have a minimum ISO. When you're shooting HLG, you can go all the way down to the minimum supported ISO on these cameras. And what that enables me to do is test a new workflow for this particular video, where I'm shooting HLG on both camera 1 and camera 2, and see how the post-processing workflow is. And I'll write a note towards the end of the video, or make a separate video perhaps explaining my workflow shooting HLG on these cameras for HDR videos and converting them to a SDR. So finally, the video test. Now what you have on the left is a video. Now in both of these videos, the top is a single camera, the lower half is a single camera. The same lenses, same setup, same subject, same light, same settings on the camera, and you'll notice that pointing out a difference between the top and the bottom section is very hard. On the left you have the 16mm, on the right here you have the 30mm, and in the next clip you have the 16mm again on the left as a control, and you have the 56mm on your right for comparison. And unless you zoom in 200%, 300% and pixel peep, you're barely going to be able to tell the difference. And this says a lot for the A6400, because if you are confused between buying the A6400 and the A7 III for video, the difference between these two cameras is of almost 90,000 rupees. That is insane amount of money. For 90,000 rupees, you could get some exceptional lenses if the purpose of buying the camera is for shooting video. So if it's only video, the A6400 will do you wonders. If you want to get good photos, great photos, and shoot video and want a large sensor, a full frame sensor, well, then you can go and evaluate the A7 III, which I have also reviewed on this channel, so you can go check out the link in the description. But there you have it, guys. If you want a small, light, compact camera that jogs through its battery like nobody's business but gives you great image and video quality, you have a winner on your hands. However, if you're going to be shooting high action, high movement, high intensity vlogs using the A6400, do not buy this camera, because what you're going to end up seeing is a lot of jello effect, and you do not want that. You don't want that. Alright guys, that is it for this video. If you liked it, hit the like button. If you disliked it, you know what to do. You know who you are. Well, at least let me know in the comments why you disliked it. And while you're down there, hit the subscribe button if you're new on this channel, and don't forget to click the bell icon to know when I post new videos. The results for the video test, I'll reveal it on this Friday's objective stream, or if it happens this Friday or the next Friday, whichever happens first. And I will see you in the next video. Cheers.